Warm greetings from the High 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans on this Wednesday, March 25th, 2020. I'd like to bring you said information pertaining to the aid package pertaining to the coronavirus. And this information is brought to you by the New York Times if you need verification for the storyline. Coronavirus live updates. Debate over jobless benefits stalls. Senate vote on $2 trillion aid package. 4 Republican senators said the generous unemployment provisions in the bill could incentivize layoffs and discourage employees from seeking new jobs. Senate leaders still hope to vote on the measure later Wednesday. Right now, schools across the country are extending closings, with some signaling that they may not reopen until next fall. Here's what you need to know. Republican opposition to jobless aid delays final action on $2 trillion stimulus plan. New York sees early signs that social distancing could be working. States shun visitors to limit the spread of the virus. Schools extend closings, and some signal that students may not return until next year. I was trying to read that. Okay. To ensure hotspots get what they need, experts say Washington should manage the nation's ventilator supply. Other criticism, Gilead withdraws its request for special status for an experimental virus treatment. As states delay primaries, June 2nd is suddenly a major date in the Democratic race. Okay, Republican opposition to jobless aid delays final action on $2 trillion stimulus plan. A last-minute dispute over jobless aid was delaying a final Senate vote expected on Wednesday to approve sweeping legislation to deliver $2 trillion in government relief for an economy battered by the coronavirus pandemic. 4 Republican senators say they believe the bill, which would provide a substantial expansion of unemployment insurance, could lead to layoffs and incentivize, it's a weird word, never heard of that word, workers to collect unemployment payments rather than take a job. They argue that because the unemployment benefits would in some cases be greater than people's regular wages, some employers and employees would decide that layoffs were preferable. The senators said they would object to fast-tracking a vote until their concerns were addressed. If this is not a drafting error, then this is the worst idea I have seen in a long time, said Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican of South Carolina. We need to create a sustainable system. Republicans who wrote the provision with the Trump administration said there was no mistake and that Mr. Graham and the other Republicans were misinterpreting the plan. Nothing in this bill incentivizes businesses to lay off employees. In fact, it's just the opposite, said Taylor Foy, a spokesman for Senator Charles E. Grassley, Republican of Iowa, and the Finance Committee chairman. But the Republican reservations had a cascading effect. Senator Bernie Sanders, independent of Vermont and a Democratic presidential candidate, said if Republicans insisted on their objections, he would block the bill for being too lenient on corporations. Excuse me. There were other criticisms of the package. Governor Andrew M. Cuomo of New York said the bill would really be terrible for the state of New York. The governor said the bill would provide the New York state government with only $3.8 billion at a moment when its response to the virus is increasing expenses and the economic shutdown is driving down tax collections. Mr. Cuomo said that the state faces a potential revenue shortfall of between $9 billion and $15 billion, far more than the stimulus bill would provide. That is a drop in the bucket as to need, he said. The bill contains $150 billion to help state and local governments. Last week, the United States Conference of Mayors sent a letter urging lawmakers to send $250 billion directly to cities, writing, without significant federal assistance, we soon will be faced with having to make decisions that could include laying off employees, cutting budgets, and reducing or eliminating critically needed services. The legislation, which is expected to be enacted within days, is the biggest economic relief package in modern American history, dwarfing the Wall Street bailout of 2008 during the financial crisis. The aim is to deliver critical financial support to businesses forced to shut their doors and relief to American families and hospitals reeling from the rapid spread of the disease and the resulting economic disruption. Senate leaders still hope to vote on it later Wednesday, and the House is expected to follow suit on Thursday. Among the items in the bill are $1,200 payment for each adult, and $500 per child in households that earn up to $75,000 per year for individuals or $150,000 for couples. The assistance phases out for people who earn more. $350 billion in loans for small businesses to help cover their expenses for up to 10 weeks. $500 billion in aid to airlines and other large corporations that have been hurt by cratering consumer demand. Much of the money would be used to backstop loans and other assistance that the Federal Reserve said it planned to extend to companies. And that is the said information by the New York Times. So, still work in progress for this bill. We'll see how it pans out, what will become of this. This is a sad, I keep saying it over and over, but this is detrimental. It's sad. It's everything negative that you can come up with. Any word you want to use is negative. This is it. This is a bad situation, but I'm praying that resolution can come into play. But the worst case scenario is how long this virus will run amok amongst us human beings. And I don't know. I don't know when they will be able to get a vaccination into play, because the first estimate was 1.5 years, but they do have a drug that they're using at the moment. We'll see how that pans out. But what is sickening is that there are all different age groups getting this virus: children, elderly, middle age, young adults. So now you can't really say what the drug is and ain't, because the first commentary was that it was 60 plus. People with ailments. Now you're seeing a girl in Missouri, St. Louis, a 31-year-old African-American female with the virus. Now you're seeing children with the virus, 6 years old, 11 years old. People thinking, well, I went over here and that's where the child got the virus, and this and that. So long as you step outside the door, you're not going to know where you got the virus from. So long as you step outside the door. Prayers for America. Prayers for you all. Prayers for the people abroad. I will be bringing you another video here shortly. And thanks for joining me. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below, and I will be back. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Thanks for joining me. Please stay safe out there. Bye-bye.